Whenever we are planning to go for a foreign trip, in spite of all the preparation that we do, still when we are leaving home, we see that whether passport is there or not. We always make sure that foreign currency is there, tickets are there, and all the other important things are there because we don't want to take any chance. Something similar happens in the phase 4 of APQP, which is talking about product and process validation. Now, so far you have seen the videos with respect to the phase 1, which is about plan and design. Phase 2 is talking about product design and development. Phase 3 talking about process design and development. And in this video, I'm going to talk about product and process validation. By the time this video will end, you will understand what exactly it is. What are the inputs which are coming from the phase 3? What are the key 8 outputs which are coming out from this particular phase? What are the key challenges that industry is facing? And what we can get about it. So this APQP third edition was published in March 2024. And the main objective is that we need to make sure that whatever is a customer expectation, what are the changing things, how we can meet that. Now there are 4 key parameters: productivity, capability, cost and timing. These are the 4 things that we need to make sure that whether we are achieving it or not. So let's start with talking about the 8 key outputs in phase 4. The first one is talking with respect to significant production runs. Now, when we talk about significant production runs, the intent is that when we are doing the production, and as per the APQP, this referring to PPAP 4th edition. So there are different references to that. The first is maybe we need to do 8 hours of production. Second could be we need to make 300 pieces consecutively, or it can be a customer specific requirement. So when we are doing a production run, we need to make sure that we are using the same equipment that is going to be used in the mass production, same fixtures, gauges, master samples, competent manpower, and the same environment also. The idea is that whatever vehicles that you are going to produce, certainly that should be a replica of the mass production. Here the main key idea is that we are just trying to see that at this particular stage, whatever we are doing, whether we can replicate in the case of mass production or not. Say for example, we have to produce 1000 cars in a particular shift. So whether we are ready for that or not, that is the first thing that we need to see. Then the second key output is talking with respect to MSA, that is measurement system analysis, which is as per AIAG 4th edition. Now, when we are making this vehicle, we also need to make sure that whatever measuring instrument that we are using, whatever manpower is there who is using that measuring instrument, whether they are correct or not. So, for example, just see the alignment of this vehicle, the tire. Now, whether the equipment that we are using for measuring it, whether it is competent or whether it is qualified to see the actual error or not, and the person who is using it, whether that person is competent or not. In general, we are talking here with respect to R&R, repeatability and reproducibility, and often we are talking about less than 10% the variation should be. So all those different aspects are being reviewed here in MSA. Then the third key output is talking primarily with respect to preliminary process capability study, which is as per AIG's 2nd edition. Now, we are making this vehicle. We are making 1000 vehicles. But what about the process capability? Is it within the target? In general, we are talking about 1.67, that it should be at the time of trial runs. So are we able to meet that or not? During the development stage, maybe the customer is giving you some special characteristics. Maybe during process in FMEA, PFMEA, we are identifying some special characteristics. Now, to have some control, we say that we'll do the SPC study. So while doing the SPC study, we have to see that whether things are being matched or not. Now, it can be both attribute or it can be variable also. Say for example, let's take an example of an attribute study. Now if you see in the car, there are sitting arrangement in the front and in the back. Now many a time it happens that the car manufacturer gives the front seat to one supplier and back seat to another supplier. Now what is the shade variation which is happening between the two? So during the process capability study, we see that whether we can identify that or not. Then the next interesting phase, which is output with respect to this, is which is talking with respect to the production part approval process. Now this is as per APQP standard. It is referring to the PPAP 4th edition. So there are 18-19 different documents. The intent is that when we are developing the PPAP, so we need to see that whether whatever is the expectation of the customer, whether we are meeting it or not. These days, a lot we are talking with respect to embedded software. So that is also one of the key ingredient with respect to that. That whatever are the software which are being used in a vehicle, whether we can rely on them, whether it is going to give the desired result again and again. That is one example with respect to that. Then another key output which is coming out here is with respect to production validation testing. Now, when we talk about production validation testing, it is talking about the output, the car which is coming out of there. So, in general, there are two kind of things. One is a process validation, other is a product validation. When we talk about product validation, the intent is that whatever the product or the car that is being manufactured, whether it is meeting the input requirement or not. Say, for example, these days again, as I said earlier, there's a lot of software, so ADAS system is there. Now, when we are using our ADAS system, we need to make sure that whether it is going to function exactly the same way, the way we are expecting it to do in the real life conditions or not. Similarly, there can be many other things which we need to see. Say, for example, during the production trial run, we want to make sure that we'll make a report of 5 pieces, we give to the customer. But when we are doing the product validation, are we only focusing that whether it is within specification, or we are also seeing that whether it is within the center or not? Say, for example, there is a dimension 5 plus minus 2. Now it is coming 5.18 and it is coming 4.82 also. So theoretically, it is within specification, it is okay, we can send the product to the customer. But when we are doing the mass production, how we are making sure that they will still remain within the specification and they are not going out. So these are certain things that needs to be taken care during the trial runs. And also, we also need to take care about those four things: productivity, capability, costing, and time, that how much we are within all those targets which have been given to us by the customer or maybe by the top management. The sixth output which is coming out from the APQP is with respect to the packaging. Now, packaging is the most important thing with respect to the product, because whatever good effort that we have done, whether the packaging is reliable or not, that makes a lot of difference. Now, assume, let's take the example of a car. Now, we have to export this car, say, from India to USA. Now, whether the packaging which is there is reliable, so that in the next 2 months, the car still remains intact, there is no corrosion or there is no other problem happening. Many a time there is an arrangement with the customer with respect to the returnable packaging. So whether that thing is working or not. Now these days a lot we are using electronic components. How we are making sure that the packaging in such a way that the anti-static or all those things are being taken care of. Many times the shelf life also plays a very important role. So how we are doing the packing in such a way that till the time the product reaches the customer, it remains robust. Then the next output, the output number 7, is talking with respect to the production control plan. Now, this is the first edition of the control plan which was published in 2024. Now, in this particular phase, it is talking also about the safe launch, which is again a new requirement, which is sort of an intermediary between the mass production. The intent is that we need to see that whatever measuring instruments are there, whatever inspection criteria, frequency is there, whether we are being able to achieve the output what you are looking for or not. Maybe there are some gaps which are being observed here, so that actions can be taken on that, so that we can make sure that when we do the mass production, all those things can be taken care of. And the last and the most important is the leadership support. Whatever is happening in the organization is only with the help of leadership support, and especially when we are talking about the four key parameters which are about productivity, capability, cost, and timing. So it is a role of top management to periodically see that whether the cost of producing this car, whether it is within the timeline or not. We may be producing very good car in terms of numbers, but then how many are getting rejected? We may be producing the car as per the target, say 1000 cars in one day, but whether we are producing in one shift or two shifts. So there are many things which the top management has to see and to take actions wherever it is required. Now, when we are talking about all these 8 outputs, let me also talk about the key challenges that industry is facing. Now, the first challenge is with respect to the use of embedded software. Even though in a vehicle there are a lot of software that we are using, but still there is a gap between the to ensure that whether the software is latest or not, whether the software is giving the desired result, and how we are validating that whatever output, say for example, the emission norms are there as per Euro 6, whether it is meeting the target or there is some gap or that, there is always some sort of a confusion with respect to that. Then often we are talking about product and process validation. So we are focusing a lot with respect to the product, but what about the process validation? How we are making sure that whatever process parameters that we decided, whatever the process controls that we are deciding, are we able to meet that or not, or we are just compromising on anything so that we can just make a few pieces and we can give it to the customer. And as I said earlier, the four key parameters: productivity, quality, cost, and timing. How much we are caring about that. And in this particular stage, when we are just on the verge of mass production, whatever inputs are there. So, first of all, whether inputs are there or not. And if the inputs are there, whether we are close to that, or we have gone above that, or we are before that, how often we are looking into that. So if I do a summary, I talked about the 10 key inputs which are coming from phase 3 to phase 4. Then I talked about the 8 key outputs from this particular phase of product and process validation. And in the last, I talked about the key industry challenges with respect to this particular phase. My next video will be about phase 5, which is talking about feedback, assessment, and corrective action. Regularly, I'm getting a lot of feedback from your side and they're helping me to understand your expectations. So please do continue that. In case you want to understand more about this particular video, you'll find a link below. If you click that, you'll find a blog there, and there you find this particular information in much more detail. In case you are liking these kind of blogs and videos, you can always share with your friends and colleagues, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website bhavyamangla.com. I've got another channel, Life Lessons with Bhavya Mangla. In case you want to know more about life and understand about that, you can always go through it and you can subscribe to that also. Thank you.